NBA playoffs will continue to roll along tonight as Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Atlanta Hawks is set to tip off at 7:30 with the 76ers holding a 2-1 series lead. And former Cardinal Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz will take on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight in Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals at 10 o'clock, with the Jazz currently holding a 2-1 series lead in that one. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marques Maybin is next. This is SportsCenter.
Hey everyone, I'm Brandon Lang. When Matthew McConaughey plays you in a movie, as he did me,
Is Steve connecting today or no?
you have to maintain a certain image. That's hard to do when you're going
Okay.
something and
He's what?
fast. Parsley Waldman's Hair Center came to the rescue. Louisville and the Midwest premier hair treatment center.
Does he? But he might call in at some point. All right. Just let me know if he says anything to you.
A full head of hair today. I can tell you firsthand. From the minute you walk in the door to the time you leave, you are treated as if you were in a 5-star hotel. And now that it's been a year since my surgery, I look back at pictures from a couple years ago. I don't even look like the same person. The procedure was an amazing success, and it has totally reframed my face. Go to hairsurgery.com and find out not only how affordable it is, but how you can get your hair back today. Visit hairsurgery.com. That's hairsurgery.com. And tell them Brandon Lang sent you.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
That's his game. They don't get back. Hayward's looking. Now look at the steal. Here's the steal. 3-on-1. Alley-oop. Oh, my goodness. Marques Maybin. And you certainly are in love with him here in Louisville. Marques in the open floor. Hops incredible. Here comes Maybin off the steal.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get ready for Marques Maybin. You're about midway to the midday with Marques Maybin. And you can call in, I lay back and just listen to Marques Maybin. So sit back and relax and watch Maybin. Break it down like this. Woo!
Broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio. Time for Middays with Marques Maybin on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marques Maybin and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Middays with Marques Maybin. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. And people, I feel like the weather is hitting that sweet spot. I feel like the Monday traffic is hitting that perfect summer sweet spot. And summer radio is going to be so much fun over the next couple of months. Steve Rummage is getting ready to go on vacation. Brian Hall in the booth.
I'll tell you what, I really like summer radio. I think I'm more of that hypothetical guy anyway, the guy who likes to play out future scenarios in my head and think about all the best possibilities for different scenarios, who's the potential transfer that Chris Mack could be picking up? How is Malik Cunningham going to play next year for the football team? That's stuff I like to debate over because everybody's got an opinion on it.
Summer radio, I do feel bad for some hosts with eternal skepticism. Here's the thing. I think our callers enjoy the summer part of it too, because it's like, what if? You always have the what if you can instead of the what. See, here's the thing. During the season, when you have something to criticize on a daily basis, you can just, pick apart what happens here, what happens there. You can just pick at things. But during the summer, I can discuss what you're picking at and give you a alternate possibility. So yeah, summer radio is definitely fun for me as well. Brian Hall, we got a lot to do today. It is a beautiful, beautiful Monday. First of all, I will say this. At one point during this morning, I will reveal my extreme, and I do mean extreme, disappointment. You remember the Amazon disappointment that I had? The nobody told me that you could return Amazon items to Kohl's. You remember how disappointed I was with that, Brian?
I remember that.
Listen, my Amazon disappointment in another field is about the same. maybe a little more, but we're going to talk about that a little later on. I did get my washer and dryer, and there's a story behind that. And if you're listening, I'm sorry, bro, but you're going under the bus for the washer and dryer story. I mean, of course, I can't throw him completely under the bus because he did hook me up with a awesome Steve Rubbish hooked me up with an awesome washer and dryer set. But there's a story behind this that he doesn't.
The hand-me-downs.
Listen, I don't mind that at all, but there is a story to this one. Boy, he ain't gonna be happy that I'm sharing this one. So yeah, I definitely got to tell the story that might make Steve hate me permanently. The Friday news dump. Y'all know we got to talk about and a couple more other things. Did you know, real quick, Brian? Did you know the name of that drill that Ross McMains uses with the basketball and the lights?
I didn't actually see the drill you're talking about.
You never saw the drill?
No.
As much as we've been talking about,
I saw the video where he was, doing his defensive stance.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, you didn't see last week how we talked about the drills?
I can't tell you how busy I've been right now.
Oh,
man.
no, Brian.
I'm working 7 days a week.
An active participant of Middays with Marques Maybin has got to have seen. You look it up. Go to the basketball.
I literally have not been on Twitter in like 3 days.
Go to the Louisville men's basketball page and go back to where you see Ross McMahon. Well, I'll tell everybody else. I did not know the drill was called the Jedi Lights Drill. Now that makes so much sense. You listen, I think I just realized Ross McMahon's the new assistant coach. He may have an old soul. if he enjoys the naming of the Jedi Knight. Oh God, don't even start.
I do think that he'll be a head coach someday.
Someday. You speed that someday up. Okay, so here's what we do, people. It's early in the show.
Not. Let's keep him here for a while.
Listen, he is going to. You got to get some headphones in there, Brian. You got to get a one ear headphone.
What I heard what you said.
But here's the thing: we keep on stepping on each other. You're gonna have to get a sound piece. You can't keep pressing the button on like a mute button. We got one in here, but we'll get that during commercial break. So here's the thing, people. I know you're excited to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about it because something is taking place right now as we speak. I spent this morning looking for the perfect word. I don't know if I quite found the perfect word, but in this journey, the key word, the word of the day is manifest, right? The definition that I brought up: clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Next one, the verb: display or show a quality or feeling by one's acts or appearance demonstrates. Okay, it's the verb part of it, and that's the adjective part of it. Manifest. That word was just the right word for today. And I'm going to tell you how I ended up at the word manifest. Friday news dump. First of all, the news dump is, no, you know it by now, David Cooper recently hired football recruiting coordinator David Cooper has left the University of Louisville to replace or to take a recruiting position for the Georgia Bulldogs. That's the story. That's the title. That's the statement. Now everybody can start unraveling it together. And when I say everybody, you know how you separate groups and you say, everybody who has already done this, raise your hand. People raise their hand and you say, okay, you don't have to take this class. You're already qualified, so you can go over there. This is what I'm going to do with this conversation today. And you're going to understand why I do it. I'm going to allow some people to remove themselves from the chastising seat this morning. You want to know who I'm going to remove? Real Louisville fans. First and foremost, real Louisville fans, you can breathe easy from today's assignment. I mean, listen, I know y'all like my course that I teach, so y'all can stay in here if you want to for the extra work. But right now, the real Louisville fans, you are not going to have to turn in this assignment at the end. What do I mean by that? This is what I mean. The worst kept secret amongst Louisville fans has been the news of David Cooper leaving the University of Louisville to go to the University of Georgia. Brian, would you admit that we had a head start on the news of David Cooper leaving, so much so that you forgot that we haven't even talked about it on air, because we, along with every other Louisville fan, has been talking about, damn, we lost David Cooper on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say it started like midweek last week, and there was a couple little like random tweets, not like totally credible sources, and people were kind of starting to murmur, and I started having people texting me being like, hey, what's going on with this Coop guy?
Early last week. So keep in mind, the real Louisville fan had accepted you lost David Cooper on Wednesday of last week. The story as an official statement did not come out until Friday, which means days, barbershops were talking about it. All my brothers and sisters at Ford Company, at Ford Motors, all the UPS line guys and all the businesses where everybody sits at work as Louisville fans, and you sit around and you talk about what's going on Midday. We've already been talking about this. Wednesday night, we were like, damn. Thursday night, we were waiting for the news to come out. Friday night, you were finally like, okay, that came out. So the Louisville fan was more than prepared for the weekend of chatter when the news got official. And you know what it did? It rolled off everybody's shoulders because you had enough time to process it. Now, here is where the Louisville fan who doesn't have to do this work and turn in this assignment is really going to have some fun. They're really going to get a chance to kick their feet up and laugh. So number one, it was the worst kept secret in the program. That's a fact. Number two, do you realize, Brian, I want you to look this up just to confirm it. I'm going to say, do you realize, I think I know this as fact, but I want you to check it. Will you look up how long David Cooper, when was David Cooper hired at his position at the University of Louisville? The reason this is a very important question to ask, because we're going to talk about job descriptions, job titles, or not titles, descriptions, and what goes into your description. This is going to be fun, y'all. Y'all just sit back and enjoy this breakdown. And I'm telling you, it's going to be well worth your time. I'm guessing somewhere around January, Brian, is when David Cooper was hired for his position at the University of Louisville. January, February-ish.
So I'm kind of skimming some articles. Big Red Louie wrote an article in February talking about the announcement of David Cooper.
The announcement. Let's just say January 31st.
All right, so here it is. Steve
Wiltfong, yep.
Wiltfong,
Yep.
From 247 Sports has learned that David Cooper is leaving Florida to take the recruiting coordinator position at Louisville. Cooper played a big part in the Gators' last two top 10 classes.
Yep.
The Georgia native played at Indiana. That announcement was made on February 19th.
Okay, mid-February. Okay, so mid-February, Marques Maybin, you know what he did? He sat in the Players Club, i.e. or AKA ESPN Louisville /939 Studios. Marques Maybin, Steve Rummage, February 19th or February 20th or one of those days of February. We looked across from each other and we smiled and we laughed. and we got on these microphones and we said, this is a big damn deal. This is a big deal, y'all. This guy is responsible or partly responsible for 2 top 10 recruiting classes at the University of Florida. Brian, we spent an exorbitant amount of time telling you how big this of a deal this was, right?
Oh, yeah.
Brian, the moment our excitement left these 4 walls and that booth that you have, do you know what that excitement was met with?
Optimism.
For the people who trust us. But the people who don't trust us or hate on us or stuff like that, you know what they said? Oh my God, listen to Steve and Marques and how they're excited about some little recruiting coordinator who is in the basement of Florida. Oh, big whoopee. Oh my God, this is just so honk radio. This is so. Steve and Marques would get excited about a little poodle if he had on a Louisville jersey. Oh my God, this is the recruiting coordinator. Guys, come on. So then Brian, said recruiting coordinator, was texting, tweeting, showing his relationships with the top recruits of the next class.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we have a small class coming in, but we talked about the relationship, the top 5 recruits that this guy's connected to, and the other 50 that are in the area or think they're just one step away from being a top 5 recruit. Or the next wave, he and his relationship with the next 100 top talented players, the next 100. We said, man, Steve, you see him back and forth and with this guy, this 5-star defense, this guy, this 5-star nose tackle, 5-star. Oh my God, he's tweeting back and forth with a couple of big time guys, and Steve and Marques are actually sitting around excited about that. Yeah. So I'll backtrack to the fact that we're on the second part of this conversation, where I want the real Louisville fan to sit back and laugh and enjoy this with us. What's your job description? Your job description is to introduce top talent to programs that aren't Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, and whatever. You fill in the blank. Whatever is considered the 5 to 6 schools that can win the championship every single year. Okay, because you know everything about those programs already. Everybody knows everything about those programs already. Those programs pick and choose. Okay. There are recruits that are high caliber recruits and are not familiar with the University of Louisville. But you know what? They know David Cooper. They trust David Cooper through their, through their upbringing, through their, whatever, out on the recruiting circuit, out on the high school camp circuit, through the circuits, they trust David Cooper. Since early February, we're saying 19th official announcement, it was known that he was coming before that date. So February, March, April, May, June. What's today's date?
Today is the 14th of June.
June 14th. So almost 5 months to the day. You want to know what David Cooper has been saying to all of the top 100 defensive recruits for the last 5 months to this day? David Cooper has been saying, dude, I know you got your heart set on, wherever, Alabama, Georgia, whatever. But if you don't and you want to play, I got a program where you should think about going, young fella. What up, Coop? Louisville. I just got here, bro. They got all the facilities you need. It is a sweet setup. When I show you these dorms, when I show you the camp, this Coach Brown, he's a dog. He'll get you right. Coach Satterfield, listen, this dude is all about his football. Hey, listen, they got the hookup here. This is nice. This is nice. 5 months straight for the next 2 entire classes. David Cooper has been introducing the nation's top talent to the University of Louisville. That is literally his job description. 5 straight months. He's not the closer. He is the guy that gets you on campus to get to the closers. This is going to be your position coach. A recruiting coordinator is not a position coach. Okay? Everybody should understand that. The recruiting coach or the position coach is the guy in college sports that makes a kid feel like, okay, you need me here and I can play in this sport. Everybody talks about every grad transfer. You know what they talk about with Coach Mack? They say, Coach Mack had the video breakdown, had a great explanation on exactly how I can fit into the scheme and where they can best use my skill set. That's what I loved about Coach Mack. Boom, that's a closer. Cooper gets him on campus, gets him talking about, dude, tells the mom, you need to consider Louisville. They're taking care of their kids up there. Really nice. Mom, let's consider them. So in case you don't want to get traffic jammed at LSU, in case you don't want to get traffic jammed at Ohio State or traffic jammed where you might be there 3 years and not get on the field. You are a 4-star, 5-star, whatever. You go to Louisville. They need your help right now. Bam, you play in these positions. They only have 10 scouts. 5 months, David Cooper has been doing this with the kids. You got your money's worth already. You got your money's worth out of Cooper already. Yes, it would be great to not have lost David Cooper to the University of Georgia. Now, because that's been going on, and because his job description has been sell these next 2 classes of kids on the University of Louisville, you lose him. Marques and Steve go, yeah, we told y'all. And instead, and let's see how you, who made fun about the excitement of Marques and Steve saying this is a big hire, you pooped on the hire for the last 4 to 6 months. Now listen, people, listen to every person you know. I'm not going to make Brian go back and get the sound of every show that made a mockery of the excitement of David Cooper. I wouldn't make Brian go back and get our sound on how many times we stressed that this is a big deal. I am not even going to waste my time telling you that this is Satterfield's move to even bring him in here. That if you were being fair, you would say Satterfield got an up-and-comer early and got him at the University of Louisville. He spotted talent. He spotted raw talent, diamonds in the rough kind of thing. Listen, you lost David Cooper, recruiting coordinator, to his home state. On his bio, he has representing North Atlanta, NAWF. Anybody who puts in their bio representing North Atlanta, if that guy decides he wants to go home to Atlanta and recruit for the University of Georgia, it's still the University of Georgia. I can't wait to see the energy of, oh my God, this is a huge deal now. This is the people should be panicked. They should be bouncing off where were you and where was that energy for the last 5 months on how big of a deal this was? No, it was mockery. And again, Cooper did his job. expose these kids to the University of Louisville. At least put it in their brain that this is a nice place for you to develop. It's a nice program. Get to know these position coaches. Conversely, I just heard about an actual position coach, Clinkscale. Brian, what was his official title at the University of Kentucky? Clinkscale.
Clinksdale, was he had to do something with recruiting.
Recruiting and defensive back coach.
Yes.
You can clear that up for me,
I'll
but
check it.
It doesn't matter. Y'all get the point. A big time recruiter and a coach who actually is hands on with the athletes goes to Michigan. What do we turn that into? Oh, the train keeps rolling. We misdirected.
Defensive backs coach was correct.
And then we start talking about what's my coach? Big boy.
Clint Hurt.
No. Kentucky coach.
Oh, Vince Morrow.
Sorry. Yeah. Then it turns into something about ha, Marrow, no big deal. The trains keep running. No. Oh, no. We don't get to do that. We don't get to do you lose an actual position room coach. Swept on the way. Where is your, this is the big time loss for the University of Kentucky. No, you don't get to bring, but here's the thing, people. Listen to that Cooper energy today. Louisville fans going to love listening to that Cooper energy. They are going to sit back. They don't have to turn in their assignments. They already did the work. They got the A during the semester, so they don't have to take the exam because they know what it's like. They knew Cooper was gone. They knew all about it. It's leads. It kind of reminds me of one of my favorite movies. I encourage everybody, if you want to have a good intellectual, sales movie night, Glengarry Ross, Glenn Ross, whatever. It's an awesome movie. It's about the leads. It's salesmen and getting the good leads that you can really sell, right? Basically, this is what happened. You got the Glengarry leads. That's what David Cooper provided you with. He's put you in contact with the top talent of the next two classes. You got the leads. It's up to these coaches to close. It's up to these coaches to sell the program. Even when he was here, it would be up to you. Listen, anybody can introduce you to the nicest woman, or you got to close. But you have that friend, and you had that friend who introduced you to every nice guy or every beautiful woman and the entire structure. I think Nikki is stuck out there. Okay. Point being, you got all the leads. The leads are the next 2 years of big time recruitable talent. You're in their inboxes now. You're in their message room. Like your Facebook and your FaceTiming. You know them now. That's what you needed. It's a loss. Yes, it's a loss. It's a loss I can gladly take for 5 or 6 months. And while we're at it, are we not even going to acknowledge that a team like Georgia, who has championship expectations every year, Georgia's job is to find a way to beat Alabama in recruiting on the field. And you know what Georgia decided was the best way to get us to beat Alabama, to get us closer to beating Alabama? Go to Louisville and buy out David Cooper from his. Think about it. Could you imagine if a school with the resources and the support and the extremist football mind is the most desperate people to beat the champion, to dethrone the champion, and they have the talent, they have the resources, and they felt like what would help them get over Alabama in the recruiting world is to go get that guy that Louisville just picked up 6 months ago, throw the bag at him, and see if we can get him out of here. That means the University of Louisville is doing a damn good job at what they're doing. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the official Monday energy reversal of how big. I don't even want to call out anything individual, but let's do. But here's the thing. I literally have been watching it unfold, and I love the fact that every Louisville fan knew this Tuesday of last week, and they get to watch it manifest for themselves. They get to watch the energy that you didn't use on Clint's scale be used against David Cooper and the University of Louisville fan base. The energy, because here's the thing. We talked about it last week. That exact same routine manifests between Luke McCaffrey. He sucked. He'll never play. He can't throw. He's an athlete maybe at the most. To what a big deal and a bad look it is for him. What don't you consider a bad look? Let's go a step further. Your program is a black eye because the word official had an error on it. Really? That's another thing you want to add? Luke McCaffrey, who practiced 3 times, Cooper, who you failed to acknowledge was a big deal until the day he left for Georgia. Literally. You failed to acknowledge that he's been bringing in the top dogs for the last 6 months. The top dogs have been getting to know Louisville for the last 6 months. The day he leaves, you want anarchy. Luke, David Cooper, official misspelling is they just keep coming in waves, don't they, Brian? And number 4, let's not forget that the top recruit of the entire class, Popeye Williams, let's gloss over the fact that he said, I am 1,000% committed to the University of Louisville. No, take it a step further. Do you have the tweet of Popeye Williams, Brian? You may not have. You said you haven't been much on Twitter.
No,
but
I saw something about that though.
But
how he is 100% committed.
Listen, I'm getting better at this at looking it up on Twitter. No. I'm 1,000% committed, and committed is in all caps. Let's talk about that. 2 at.
He said this is family.
No, I'm getting there. At U of L football, this caps lock is caps lock, family caps lock, exclamation in red exclamation. So you went out of your way to make sure you put 2 big red exclamation point. The top recruit, keep in mind, this is the top recruit. And guess what? Let me throw in at Coach Dennison, at Coach Sat U of L, at Coach B Brown, at Strength and Conditioning, at Coach Mark Ivy U of L 90, at Coach D Nick. We're gonna just gloss over, out of all that anarchy that you want, the top recruit of the class says no. Let's just focus on the misprint or the misspelling of official. They keep on coming in waves, don't they? Louisville fans, just sit back, laugh, and enjoy this energy, because sometimes you can't make this stuff up. Sometimes you just can't make it up. Quick commercial break. Middays with Marques Maybin on 939 The Ville.
Come to Shane Company to create a unique engagement ring that captures your love story. Our jewelry consultants will always respect your budget. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
I'm former Louisville basketball player Luke Hancock. When the NCAA tried to take away the Most Outstanding Player Award from the 2013 tournament, I got it back thanks to Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is the personal injury firm that fights for the people, and their team treats clients like family. Morgan & Morgan changed my life, and if you've been injured in a car crash, at work, or in a slip and fall, they may be able to change yours. For a free consultation, dial # law on your cell phone. That's pound 529, offices Louisville.
Genesis Diamonds is celebrating the summer of 2021 with an offer that everyone's loving right now. 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down on anything and everything. Upgrade or diamond, and you can spread the payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Treat yourself to that designer necklace or those diamond earrings you've had your eyes on. It's easy with this spectacular offer, and everything's included, even all our GIA certified diamonds. Pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your monthly payment. No down payment is required. You can even finance the sales tax. People are driving for hours to take advantage of this. Imagine a $12,000 designer engagement ring or diamond tennis bracelet, just $200 a month. It's the smartest and definitely the most cost-effective way to treat your special someone or even yourself. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down, now for a limited time. Only at Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza. Unapproved credit.
Focus has expanded its roster of flavors with 4 new big hitters. Crisp apple, mixed berry, cherry cola, and root beer add to Focus's already impressive roster of flavors.
Focus has been our go-to drink for years when it's time for a pick-me-up around the office.
Focus is a naturally energizing caffeinated sparkling water, so it's free of any of the bad stuff you find in sodas and energy drinks.
Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door.
Focus, PHOCUS. Try it today.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
Hey, Card Nation, let's be honest. The real estate market in Kentucky is booming. And whether you want to buy or sell a home, now is the perfect time to do it. With interest rates at an all-time low and programs that can get you in a home for no money down. Want to learn more? It's simple. Just call Derek A. Stewart with Dream JP Pirtle. Derek is available virtually around the clock to listen, understand, and help you with all your realtor needs. So don't waste another second. Call Derek A. Stewart at 502-314-9868 today.
Yeah, it's that good. There's pizza. Good taste, happy face, your place, my place. What's gonna make you happy? It's the smile I see on your face. It's that good. Yes, it is, and we deliver it. Oh, oh, oh. Taste is fun. Yes, it is. We guarantee it. Yeah, it's that good. Verno's Pizza. Yeah, it's that good.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
in the middle of his rant or his spiel and get him off track. I'm going to let him get it all off his chest.
Was that a rant?
I wouldn't say it was a rant, but I meant, you had a good flow going. I didn't want to break it up. I could tell you thought about it.
8150 93.9 is the number. Feel free to jump in on this one. 3831 93.9 is the text line. Again, I wanted to make sure I took a second to give the macro perspective on the coverage, the macro perspective on the individual and what he brought to the table. I wasn't trying to soft shoe the loss, but here's the thing. You can't be sad about that loss if you did not acknowledge that it was a big time hire, or you can't say, oh, I didn't think it was a big time hire right up until the camp. And as soon as you got everybody on camp, then he turned into a big time hire and then he left. So no, it does not work like that. You acknowledge, okay, he was a big time get. Then you acknowledge what his job was. David Cooper's job was to introduce all these kids that are big time talent to the University of Louisville. He did that job. I want to make sure we address the fact that Satterfield, Coach Brown, I don't even want to point out who was responsible in particular for getting him here. And if you don't think that Coach Satterfield or Coach Brown, if you don't think they took a beeline to Vince Tyree and said, I don't know what he's getting, but we need to put a package together to match what Georgia is doing if we can get away with it. Now, if Georgia just threw the move back home bag at him.
He's a Georgia native.
Yeah. If you lost him to that, I got no problem. If you lost him to Georgia is closer to getting me a head coaching job or the best jobs in the country. If you lose him to those kind of things, but trying to tie him leaving after 6 months into Luke McCaffrey was here 3 days and that coach was only here 4 months, and that's stupidity. That's literally the manifestation of stupidity, of trying to equate those things and turn those things into black marks in the program. That means you're not even trying to see anything realistic about coaches searches, about sports as they play, about the market that is college football. That means you're throwing every aspect that you know out the window to look to criticize the University of Louisville in particular. So when you say narratives, that's not a narrative. That's stupidity. And if you run with that, if you let that penetrate your mind, then you should be owned by whoever can influence you. Something is that bad.
Well, I think everybody who is a regular listener of this show knows how much of a fan all three of us were of Coop. And it was a guy that we talked about pretty much from day one when he got here. Once we started, seeing the fruits from his fruition, come to fruition, it was one of those things where we were like, we started to see how big of a deal he could be, how big of an impact he could make on Louisville football recruiting. But it looks like he was a very honest guy, and it looks like he introduced a lot of people to the University of Louisville, and those people fell in love with the university and realized it's more about picking a university than picking a coach, because coaches come and go.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And I think whatever you paid him for that 6 months, if he got a half year of salary, that was the most well spent half year of a salary that you could give up. Do I need to take that before I move on to Mike? Any other thing? Okay, well, let's hit it. Mike, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Start us off right, my man.
So, Marcus, Brian was wrong. That was definitely a rant.
Fair enough.
But it was well deserved. I mean, everything you said, I think was spot on. Everybody that's against us wants to minimize everything we do right and then blow it up when something goes wrong, and it's ridiculous. But I just want to say something about Luke McCaffrey. So I just think there's a couple of angles to this. One thing is, does he come in and say, do you know who my brother is? Do you know who my dad is? I will be the starter. Maybe, but what I think is a guy comes in for 3 days and he wants to play, and then he's behind Malik. And Malik runs circles around this dude, man. You can say whatever you want to. Malik's he's a good quarterback, man. He's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the ACC. So he comes in for 3 days and he says, I can't beat this guy out. I'm gone. And that's fine. People don't want to compete. I get that. But I think that says more for Malik and the coaching staff, kind of the way that they think about him than it does for McCaffrey. But I still think McCaffrey came in there with entitlement because of his last name. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The other thing is, I have to say, is on the other point, not to knock it down, but that misspelling official, man, I know it's a mistake, but that's a bad look. And I wasn't really happy about that. You kind of have to take your hits on that one, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure you understood that, that Luke McCaffrey was not ever, this, he was never going to be the guy. Malik's always the guy. And just cut that turnover down. He's the top 2 or 3 quarterback in the ACC. But that's really all I got. I appreciate your opinion and your rant, if it was.
Right.
And I agree with, I don't always agree with you, Marcus. I agree with everything you said today, and I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Listen, Mike, I do appreciate that call. And let me say this, Mike. I'll do it backwards. Yes, I don't like the misspelling of official. And I do agree with your verbiage. You got to take your hits on that one. Yes. Dates, saying he's a senior when he's really a junior. Every mistake, yes, you take your hits. But we're not talking about sledgehammers here. We're not talking about totally ignoring the fact that your top recruit is 1,000. Let's see how many jokes you'll get out of a misspelling of official, and how many compliments you'll get out of, man, that's huge. That Popeye Williams is still 1,000% committed and went out of his way to capitalize, caps lock. Let's see how much traffic you get out of the big keep so far for Popeye Williams and the official misspelling. That's to your point. I agree with you. I don't like it. I never like a spelling on anything media guy related, or not media guy related, because Kenny Klein does not make mistakes. That I don't like. But again, let's see how much traffic we get out on the decision of him to put out another tweet to say 1,000% officially committed. And to your other point with Malik, Mike, how much energy, how much exploration, and maybe he was impressed with Malik Cunningham in person. No. That can't be possible. Steve Rummage, Marques Maybin, and every other person that has been quote unquote recruited has went into a room or went into a gym or went into an area where they thought, I'm out my league. Brian Hall has been at an athletic area where he just thought, and Brian Hall's a confident person. Steve's a confident person. We all work hard at whatever craft we're involved in, but we've gotten rooms and we've said, this is a problem in here. Everybody has been intimidated in a room where they felt like they weren't the smartest or the strongest or anything. And we all had to acknowledge it. But think about it. We've all had that individual experience, but nobody around me wanted to come in here, get in front of a microphone, get on television, get on Twitter and say, hey, people, maybe just like all of you went into a room and got intimidated, this kid got into that room and said, I can't keep up with these guys. I'm missing the targets, and this is the dude that led the conference in interceptions, and he's hitting these targets all day. I can't even throw half as good as Malik. Not one person said, I like Malik running off quarterbacks. I hope he keeps running quarterbacks off. I want him to limit his turnovers, but maybe, just maybe, explore the eye that Malik just looked at him. And you know when they say, "Hey, hey, I'm Luke. Hi, I'm Malik. What position you play, Luke? Quarterback. What position you play, Malik? A starting quarterback. Get your ass out of here, punk." Right? Maybe he just ran him right on off. You can't get excited about that? Is that impossible to get excited about? I think it's just as likely as any other scenario. So I do appreciate that call, Mike.
Our jewelry consultant showed us their decorative crowns, a way to make it even more special. They had so many unique designs to choose from. I chose a tulip crown, and it made it gorgeous from every angle. It was so easy to create the ring online, and it arrived faster than we expected. I can't wait to wear it every day for the rest of my life.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5, and online at shaneco.com.
We are Louisville's hometown sports station. ESPN 680, 1057, and 93.9 The Ville. With the most play-by-play of the biggest events, including the NCAA tournament and Final Four.
Wire-to-wire winner for the Baylor Bears.
The College Football National Championship.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
The NFL and Super Bowl 54.
The FA Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions, led by Tom Brady.
The NBA Finals.
The Lakers conquer the bubble.
The World Series.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series.
And the Kentucky Derby.
And they're into the stretch.
Featuring exclusive coverage of the Triple Crown. Big game, big race, one place. ESPN 680, 1057, and 93.9 The Ville. Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
The Louisville basketball video is exactly what we've said has been lacking from this basketball program, which is a connection to the fans for a long time. And this was a connection to the fans. I thought it was really well done. I hope they continue to do it. And it's smart, and I think it's a good thing.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10 on 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 and 1057.
Hi, I'm Steve Mercer. Join me on 93.9 The Ville or the ESPN Louisville app every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. to discuss
I have it, but I mean, and it's clean, but it's
how to create your.
I claim to be a baller, but up your wife.
Check out our website, www.
Do you want me to find an instrumental?
Something on your mind? Hit us up on the UPS Jobs text line, 3831-939.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
I'm Ethan Moore.
And I'm Taylor Lynch.
Check out.
It's just like every other word's a cuss word, and it's just like it's just a bunch of pauses, and then be like, your wife, and I'm like, oh boy.
All the best local and national guests talking all things football, basketball, and recruiting.
Every Wednesday at 6 right here on 93.9 The Ville. And follow us on Twitter at Elville Sports.
I could get the instrumental for the next one. You want to do that?
Sportslive.net.
Try to find the instrumental with a hook, maybe.
media, and I've watched people go through an experience this weekend. I know when you hit that moment, I know it crossed your mind. You said, Marques told me, he warned me, and y'all found out the hard way that temperature control is one of the most valuable resources one could have. And if you agree, then DFH Company is the company for you. Simply dial 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Inquire about the Mitsubishi Mini Split like we use at the 93.9 Studios for that hard to heat, hard to cool room in your home. And remember, right now, Mitsubishi is offering a $500 rebate through June on its multi-zone systems. 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. So, Brian, did you manage to stay cool this weekend? Or did
Not
you
really?
Was it too many walks that
I
just
didn't have
cooked
enough
you?
DFH.
Was it just too much just dog walking that cooked you, or did you hang outside?
Yeah, to be honest, like I had several walks over the weekend. I've actually been staying at a client's house in Indiana, and we've it's miserable when you get out there. Like Sunday, actually, I made a trip to the pool just to kind of cool off. But hopefully, I think today is supposed to be warm, and I think it's supposed to be gradually coming back down after today. And I only got a few different walks I got to do today, so hopefully we'll get it done.
So yeah, as far as DFH is concerned, you people can't say I didn't warn you. So here's the thing. Now we can lighten up a little bit. Lighten up the mood by having two conversations. Actually, we might not be lightening up the mood. The mood might be getting a little harsher and a little heavier. So I've been
Dare I say hotter?
Not here, because we have DFH. This is the problem. I set up the show. I compared a situation where I said, I'll just blame Card Nation, because that's my biggest interaction outside of, a few individuals. Card Nation. I expect y'all to look out for me like I look out for you. I expect you to protect me from fallacies and falsehoods and things like that. When it happens, we might have a little conversation, on air, and somebody might give some advice or have an opinion, and y'all can hear me. You can literally hear me processing things on air when I'm asked about questions. I only have a few little hobbies and just a few little things that I like to do. So when I'm working on myself, I need y'all to be more forceful in your opinions. Because here's the thing. I've been trying to adjust my schedules a little bit, shorten up my naps a little bit, kind of get more of a normal human being's schedule, right? So I decided I'm gonna start adding a movie or a TV show, at least a 1 hour show, into my evenings. Kind of just I'm just trying to balance out my schedule a little better and make myself sit still. Because I'll spend an entire evening going from room to room, feeling like I got to clean up something, or I got to reorganize something, or, I just kind of chicken head, cut off all that good stuff. I've been trying to make myself, Marques, sit down 1 hour minimum, watch a movie, watch a TV show, unplug. Life doesn't have to be so serious. You don't have to sit around and, look at all, you just unplug and do an hour of mindless entertainment. And and I'm not talking about the Facebook scrolling with the funny videos and the kid. I'm just talking about somebody has prepared a movie or a TV show. Just calm down and sit still. Sit on your couch, sit still for an hour. I've been working on it. Brian, there's two movies that Steve and myself have been talking about watching. And we started about probably 2 months ago when we brought this up, roughly 2 months ago. Ish, maybe a month. That's not the point. I've watched 2 movies over the last 3 days or so. King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong.
Did you like it? I've been debating on that one.
The other movie I watched last night was Mortal Kombat.
Like the old one? I know that's one of your favorites.
Take this. Don't take this wrong. Y'all make me sick. And listen, if the shoe fits, if you think I'm talking about you, I'm talking about you. If you don't think I'm talking about you, I'm not talking about you. Y'all make me sick. Those movies were awesome. Godzilla versus King Kong was awesome. Mortal Kombat was awesome. Those movies were high adrenaline, high, they pulled out the graphics all they could. You know what? I just realized it's a microcosm of the way you consume sports. This is coming from somebody who does not watch a lot of movies, right? Does not watch a lot of movies. So I appreciate them when I watch them. I watched that Godzilla versus King Kong. I looked at so much of the little things they covered. I saw the creativity, the imagination. You know what it didn't have? Recognizable actors. And you people, the actor was a little cheesy, but you sound like the same guy who said we shouldn't be excited. Well, Cooper, I don't care that he's getting a lot of people to Louisville. First of all, he got to get them to sign on the dotted line, and then he has to get them on the field, and then they have to be a Hall of Fame college player. Then I'll say Cooper's a good coach.
I know where you're going with this, but quick question. So I know you were a big fan of the original Mortal Kombat. How does this one compare to that?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I will get there. Because right now I'm going through that crisis. I watched the imagination of the Godzilla versus King Kong. I watched the adrenaline. I watched the situational setups. I'm not gonna spoil alert, because chances are you thought about watching that Godzilla versus Kong. If you haven't watched it, you thought about watching it. And somebody told you, oh no, the acting on it was a little subpar. You know how much money they spent on the graphics of that movie? Some of that stuff was just unbelievable. So, I mean, when the guy goes through the thing and he turns his airplane around, and you're the same person that criticizes everything, not critiques. Criticize. You look for something in the background that's off, so you can have a reason not to just at the end of the day go, hey, did you see the one where he had a wound on the wrong arm? What a joke. This whole movie, this $300 million movie, and the guy, at first he was drinking a Coke, and then he was drinking a Sprite. This sucked. I watched Godzilla Kong, and it gave me every emotion that I would want to go through in a movie. And then I went to Mortal Kombat. I know the story. I played the games. I've seen the multiple versions of the Mortal Kombat. What could you not like about the Mortal Kombat story other than, sorry, spoiler alert, but this part I don't care, because you should know better by now. You know it's going to be a part 2. That's the one thing I can even possibly hear you even thinking about criticizing, is that you can guarantee The next Mortal Kombat is coming in 24 months. And the only reason I'm giving you a pass on the Mortal Kombat part is my dad says he likes closure. My dad hates TV shows that don't give you closure. He said, I need the Jack Bauer. I need this stuff to get wrapped up. Every show, I need a finish line to the show. So I have like lightened up on people who can't do to be continued shows. I can handle that. Brian, you're gonna have to tell me in my ear.
Softball dad does.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Let's get to the phone lines real quick and wish me luck on this one. Softball dad Dustin, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Man, I got a lot on my mind. One, I've been kind of in and out. But the only thing I heard was something about the best movie that'll make you think, and you couldn't remember the name of it. So it can't be that damn good. About a guy, I think, Ross or something.
Oh, Glenn Ross. No, I could think of it. I just didn't know if it was Glenn Ross or Glengarry Ross or Glenn Ross.
Well, then I get back in the car and I'm hearing Mortal Kombat and King Kong and Godzilla. And am I listening to the Maybin show or am I listening to Siskel and Ebert? That's not why I called. I called because rumor has it you have a beef with me.
Oh,
I'm going as fast as I can, man. I'm trying to get. A matter of fact, I just left. I'm getting ready to go back. So we're working on it. Be patient, but don't use your beef with me for somebody else. If you've got a beef,
fair enough.
Come on, come with me. Come at me.
Fair enough. I will pull up. I will pull up right on you too.
All right, you all be good.
Appreciate the call. So we've been setting up a Four Pegs project, and I've been accusing Softball Dad Dustin of delaying our event. We're gonna have a little get together, Four Pegs get together, and it's not his fault. And I know it's not his fault, but I've been blaming on him publicly. I like to do that. So that's what that was about. And I'm glad I didn't cut you off, Softball Dad Dustin, because I was gonna say, Brian, we know the rules. If you're a day one for this show, this is a continuous show.
Oh yeah.
You don't get to just, I'm in my car sometimes and I'm out the car sometimes and sometimes. Dude, you got AirPods. You put one AirPod in your one ear and you take care of your business with your open ear, but you don't tune out to this. Like, are you crazy?
Well, he did call in and he was like, have y'all just been talking about movies all day? And I was like, what is he talking about? And I was like, I know he's talking about Mortal Kombat and King Kong and Godzilla right now, but what's the other movie he's talking about? I was like, I don't remember Marques talking about another one, and he couldn't remember the name, and I was like, you must have just tuned in for like a couple seconds.
All right. He's lucky I'm in a chipper mood, or I would have ripped him a new one just for popping in and out and then acting like he knew
not knowing the whole gist of the story, you know?
Right, Softball Dad Dustin, but
taking snippets.
But again, I feel like the public let me down by not acknowledging that those are two awesome movies, and I recommend them. And if you watch movies to find something to criticize, don't watch it, because all movies suck, and just stop watching movies. If you sitting around criticizing Mortal Kombat and King Kong, that's
I'll be
one.
honest, I thought the first hour was great football talk about David Cooper.
Listen, I did too, and I had to get some other things off my chest. So here's the other thing, Brian.
I think you're starting to feel better. I think the chipper side's about to come around.
It is, but here's the problem, Brian. This one's kind of a longer. Okay, here's what I'm debating. Do I take Steve Rummage to court today?
Is he coming on?
Or do I just tell him I don't believe he's coming on?
I don't believe him either.
Okay.
Is he telling you he is?
Should he go? Because we had an incident this weekend, Brian. And I'm wondering if he should go to people's court, or should I just tell a simple story?
Well, can you give me like a kind of like some kind of clue as to what it might be without not giving away too much, and I can make a determination?
I'd say we'll do that after the commercial break. But here's the thing. I'm not taking a commercial break just yet because I want to do some housekeeping really quick. TJ Klein son of Nancy Lieberman, Quan 4, officially on the TBT.
Quan 4?
Quan 4.
Really?
And TJ Klein. Don't ask me, y'all. Don't, and listen, don't antagonize me. Here's the thing. I can hear y'all right now. Ooh, Marques, stuff is getting announced that ain't on your show. Ooh, like, don't gas me up, y'all. Don't gas me up to get me mad at Keith Otto for not announcing these on the show, for taking away the content of the show, for me extending my platform as the best way to get momentum going for the TBT. Now, you don't need me no more, huh? Now you Mr.
Big deal.
Now you Mr. Big Shot. You get Luke and you get some sponsorships, and now, man, I'll just put it out on my own. Well, I don't need Marques anymore for that. Not that you ever needed me, but you get the point. These fans are gonna start trying to hype me up, and half of them gonna be like, man, I don't care if TBT wins because he announced the rest on Marques show. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let that be cool, but don't gas me up, y'all, on that. But I will ask you, Brian, Quan 4, TJ Klein, TBT. Improves our chances. Is it average or what?
Honestly, like, and I'm gonna preface this by saying that the TBT is going to be an interesting. I know I've talked to you about this off air, but it's one of those things that's going to be interesting to see because. So if you ask a former Louisville fan, and this is just an example, I'm gonna say Shane Bohannon is in great shape right now and is gonna play great.
Is in great shape.
Say that
is in great shape.
So I think he is, but let's just use him as a theoretical, and let's use Jalen Johnson. If you go ask a bunch of Louisville fans, who would they rather have on a all Louisville team or whatever? We're putting them together. Would you rather have Shane Bohannon or would you rather have Jalen Johnson? Majority of the Louisville fans, I think, would say Shane Bohannon because he had the better career when he was at Louisville. But Shane Bohannon is several years removed from the University of Louisville. Jalen Johnson was on an NBA roster within the last year, or in the G League at least, within the last year. So he's still in playing shape. So even though Shane Bohannon may be the better player in Louisville fans' minds, Jalen Johnson might be the better presence on the TBT team because he's more recent, which is bringing me back around to my point with Quan 4. Quan 4 is one of those guys that was recently on the Louisville team, probably in a little better playing shape than a guy who's closer to his 30s. And you need that defensive toughness. And I think what he'll bring to the team will be different than a lot of the other players we brought. A lot of the other players we brought are bringing offensive firepower, like Jerry Smith and Wayne Blackshear and, Chris Jones and Samardo Samuels. All these guys are offensive presence. You need some toughness. You need some defensive players. And I like Quan 4's athleticism. I always said it when Quan 4 was here that I thought he would be better in pickup style basketball, kind of non-rules basketball, kind of just get out there and wing it than he does in a system. So I think he'll be fine. Do I think he'll be a starter? No. Do I think he'll play a whole lot of minutes? No, but it's nice having that defensive stopper off the bench.
Texter says I sound like Process right now. That's pretty funny. Let me ask you a question, and this is for the text line as well. This is for the text line or the call-in line. There's three. Let's just bring it down to three types of players and three motivations. Do you want the player? This is motivations, Brian. The hungriest, the most in shape, or the most with something to prove to the Louisville fan base? Which player would you rather have the most on your team? The hungriest, and I mean hungriest like I need my cut of that $1 million. The player that's in the best shape, or the player I need to prove to Louisville that I'm a whole lot better. Because we can say like Chris Jones or Wayne Blackshear is like the I want to prove the Louisville guy. We can say the Shane Bohannon might just be the hungriest, just I need to, get an opportunity. And then we could say to Jalen Johnson or somebody or Quan Forrest, like those are the in shape. Those are the guys like in the best shape to play. Which
in this type of tournament?
Yep. Which one do you think?
Okay, because my answer would be different if we weren't talking about this type of tournament.
TBT tournament. Which of those players? Again, I'm gonna say it one more time for the texters or the callers. Do you want the guys that are most desperate to win this money? Do you want a team full of guys who are in the best shape, like the best out of all the guys we get, the best 10 to 15 conditioned guys, or get a guy full of guys that want to prove to Louisville and going to play for Louisville with the same kind of college pride that I should have played with to prove that I'm better for the Louisville people.
All right, so I'm going to order it for you. Number 3 is in least important in my opinion. It might shock you, but is the players who need to prove something.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because I think everybody knows what each of these players has brought to the table when they were at Louisville. I think every Louisville fan should know that what they do on the court now is going to be different than what they did when they were here. And honestly, I think the hungry or like those type of players that need to prove something could actually go against us because we don't need a ball hog out there on this team. We don't need a guy who is 30 years old being like, I need to prove to the Louisville fan base that I'm good, and it just starts jacking shots all over the place. Like, no, like if we're trying to win, I think the second most important are the hungriest. And I mean, your need for money.
The most important is the hungriest?
This is the second most.
Okay.
So I think your need for money and needing to do it is good because I think your work ethic's going to be great. You get a guy who hasn't made the type of paycheck that he could make on the TBT tournament in a long time. He's going to be the guy that goes out and practice and he's like, all right, boys, we got to get it, and takes everything serious and 110%, which I think is good. And that's the one that I debated over to move to the top, but I don't think it's the most important. I think the most important in a TBT style tournament where you have people of all different ages who have been out of the game professionally for a while, the most important is the people who are athletic and are still in shape, because we know that everybody on the team can play. Like, because there's a reason that you played at the University of Louisville. There's a reason why we invited you to be on the TBT team, because you were a good basketball player. So if you're still in shape and you're still athletic, we know that your ability levels are there. So like, I think that is most important, because you get, like the big three, you see guys that are 40 something years old out there playing. And obviously they're not the way they were when they were in the NBA. And it's because they're not in shape and they're not as athletic. So the guys who are still in shape and the most athletic, we know they can still play. Even if they haven't picked up a basketball as much as they used to, they're still going to be, it's like riding a bike, man. They're going to get back into it.
Hunger number 1, condition number 2, something to prove number 3. We'll take our last commercial break, and then I got to take Steve to court and a couple more topics we got to clean up. I might have to take Coach Mack to court too, so we might get a 2 for 1. Quick commercial break. Middays with Marques Maybin on 93.9 The Ville.
Last year in June, we implemented an employee stock ownership plan. So now all of our full-time staff members own a piece of.
Is he calling in or?
Pride, but now this.
Steve calling in or connecting?
A part.
Oh, you're just going to take him to court without him here?
Have to be done.
I thought you meant he was texting you and you were like going to get him on, and I was going to take him to court when he got here.
Good liquor store. Visit our website, coxeslouisville.com.
Hey everybody, Steve Rummage here, and if you have listened to 93.9 The Ville over the last few months, you know I've reminded you of 3 simple words: Call Josh Jarbo. Josh is a licensed realtor and owner of Remax Alliance, and with the spring market heating up, he wants to make your home buying or selling process as efficient as possible by offering a guaranteed sale program and instant offers on commercial listings. And if that wasn't enough, up to $5,000 seller credit by mentioning you heard it right here. So don't wait any longer and contact Josh Jarbo at 502-216-7590 or joshjarbo@remax.net.
At Kroger, we know there's never a good time to run out of fresh. Luckily, our delivery and free pickup make it easy to grab what you need. So whether it's a few extra buns for the backyard barbecue or some miscellaneous munchies for movie night, we make it easy to get back to being you. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
And right now, you'll find more ways to save when you buy 6 or more participating sale items. You'll save 50 cents each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You're listening to Louisville's hometown sports station, ESPN 680, 105.7, and 93.9 The Ville, covering your teams.
I give our guys credit for being able to withstand a heck of a push and heck of a run to make a few shots and get a few stops.
With the most local coverage.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you got to win games, and you got to be tough.
We are your hometown sports station, ESPN Louisville, and the ESPN Louisville app.
Now that sports have officially kicked off, there's only 4 things missing from your playbook. 4 pegs. Looking for great smoked wings? 4 pegs. Looking for juicy barbecue and award-winning chili? 4 pegs. If you're just looking for some cold crab, tap, can, or bottled beer? 4 pegs. And the best part about 4 pegs is it's right around the corner at 1053 Goss Avenue in Germantown. So you better get over there fast because the word is spreading. And while you're over there, be sure to ask about their food truck and other catering services.
I'm Ethan Moore.
And I'm Taylor Lynch.
Check out Louisville Sports Live, the city's longest running all U of L sports talk show, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here on 93.9 The Ville.
All the best local and national guests talking all things Louisville football, basketball, and recruiting.
Every Wednesday at 6 right here on 93.9 The Ville. And follow us on Twitter at Elville Sports without an O live.
And check out the website, LouisvilleSportsLive.net. Go Cards.
Focus has expanded its roster of flavors with 4 new big hitters. Crisp apple, mixed berry, cherry cola, and root beer add to Focus's already impressive roster of flavors.
Focus has been our go-to drink for years when it's time for a pick-me-up around the office.
Focus is a naturally energizing caffeinated sparkling water, so it's free of any of the bad stuff you find in sodas and energy drinks.
Go to drinkfocus.com to find the full lineup of flavors and get them delivered right to your door.
Focus, Phocus. Try it today.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.LOVE.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
can I help you out? Like, you look like, like I said, when you see somebody struggling, it's only nice to be like, hey, can you help? And then you expect Steve to turn around, look, see it's a female, and be like, that's all right. I got it under control. Like, you're fine. I appreciate the offer.
Would your manhood have kicked in, Brian? Or would you? Okay, put it this way.
So,
does it matter what they were wearing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if she's got flip-flops on, you don't ask her to move a washer with you. I mean, it's not like, hey, can you go home and get some tennis shoes real quick and come back? I need some help with this.
And listen, he sure did, Brian. He sure did say, yeah, I need some help.
I think if I were in Steve's shoes, I would have been like, no, I got this. And I probably would have made it up like a little bit further. Yeah. And like, no, I need help.
Yeah, listen, I think that's kind of how it went. He kind of tried to go a little extra. It was like, but listen, of course I'm giving him a hard time.
I can't believe you took him to court when he gave you a free walk.
I know. Listen, again, I didn't want to taint the jury pool, but I know we have a lot of men who listen to this show and just gonna, no, you just can't accept help. So yeah, I guess the most of the public will rule in favor of Steve because he needed help.
There comes a point, no matter how manly you are, that you just got to face the song and just say, you know what, I need some help.
Fair enough. Go ahead and catch that. You can pull that down. I think somebody got it. Maybe.
Go out there.
Yeah, FedEx.
Oh, okay.
Rule in favor of Steve Rummage. He did nothing wrong. Case closed.
Boom. Done.
Okay. Cooper, one more time, y'all. One more time.
We hit the wrong part to raise the music. This is the jazzies.
Yeah, go ahead. Give that a nice fade, and we'll say it. I've been getting text. Brian will have the first hour podcasted up pretty soon.
Apparently word spread pretty quick that you had a lot of things to say about Coop.
Yes.
Now that people are trying to catch that first hour.
So yeah, ESPN Louisville, Brian will have it the podcast available for the first hour while I'm doing any cleanup.
I will say it was a good rant.
I enjoyed it.
Since our caller called in to confirm that it wasn't
that it wasn't right, Mike. Yeah. Okay, I'll say this as well. I wanted to give an extra shout out to the Louisville football team, those participants who got out on a Sunday, either Saturday or Sunday, and helped with I don't want to mess up the name, so I will say it perfectly. HFH Metro Louisville is the Twitter site. Habitat for Humanity of Metro Louisville. Repeat. Habitat for Habitat for Humanity of Metro Louisville at Lou Habitat is their Twitter. For the Louisville, the young men who participated in the home building, the home restoration, that's something that I never want to go for two reasons. Again, I am one who says you'll talk about a misspelling of a story to no end. Will you compliment? Will you follow? Will you give a share? Will you say good on you, good job, young men, for participating? And a lot of these things, y'all, they ask the players, they ask the team, hey, we're doing something with Habitat for Humanity. Who doesn't mind going with us? A lot of times, they don't force you to do those things. You, the coaches, they may ask, hey, I need some guys to do this. The gentlemen who participate, and again, Brian, myself, everybody, at some point you thought yesterday and this weekend has been the hottest days of the year.
No doubt.
And everybody talked about it. And if you're one who says, oh, he's just doing another photo op or something like that, you got something inside of you that you need to clean. If you didn't think that's something, if you don't want to take a little bit of time and say, hey, for two reasons, those young men were out in the heat, construction with their, listen, I mean, they didn't do anything extremely dangerous. I'm sure they wouldn't, gun and nails all day long, but they weren't working with power saws or anything like that. But they give them their time, their energy, their effort, their discomfort for donating. And again, I'm not sure. I won't guarantee they're donating. I'm just saying for what I participated in, these are when you give your time because you say, okay, I can take a Sunday, be a strong set of arms to participate. Don't want that to go overlooked. And also, I feel good for the young men because this is funny. Have you ever done something that you realized I'm interested in this now? So guys who see up close a little bit of construction, I kind of envy those guys because it's like now you have an experience. You have an experience that maybe you want to get into construction. Maybe you want to do more building projects. So I kind of envy guys. It's the college experience, getting exposed to to a lot of new things. And exposure and experience. I
wish that they would show some of more of that, like on the news. I know that they do it to not be recognized,
right?
But at the same time, there's so much negative stories that are in the news today. It'd be good to throw in a positive that the Louisville football team was out there doing stuff like that.
I 100% agree. Let me get this last one in here before we get out of here. Then you can get ready to start playing us out, Brian. Let me mute and give this man